the first thing I'm going to sit down and think of, the very first thing as I begin to prepare for your funeral, is I'm going to think, what do I know about this person? What really do I know? What does other people say about you? What do I know that I can say for sure? Because I never, ever, ever get up and say something I don't know. I never tell a lie at a funeral. And some funerals, I have the 3 funeral plan. And some funerals I know so much and have so much good news that it's so easy, but sometimes it's hard. But I can stand up and I can gather all the information I know about you, and you might get funeral number 1. And it's a cold funeral. That's the one where I don't know that you were saved. And I can't find anybody that would say they knew for sure you were saved. Matter of fact, with all the evidence that I can gather from people, and man, I really try because, man, I want to get up there and I want to preach a funeral. That's a good funeral. It's happy. It's a funeral of celebration. So I try. To say all the evidence I found leads me to draw a conclusion that you were lost. And today, if you were to die, if God was to strike you today, you're not prepared. So what you've got right now today, what you've told the church, what you've told your family, what you've told your friends, that's what's going to be said at your funeral. Right now today. And if nobody today knows that you're saved, maybe you're not saved. And that's what your funeral is going to be. And I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to read through the people that has gone on before you and your family. And I'm going to read about the people that are still alive in your family. And they're going to be in here and they're going to be crying. And the songs are going to be singing, and we're going to sing good songs, lifting up songs, but nobody has that lifting. Everything that we try to point to take the family's mind off of that salvation or where you're at, it doesn't help because they know you're lost. They know you've never lived the Christian life. They know that you never stood up and said, I just met Jesus Christ. So there's nothing that I can say at all to change what's going around in that funeral. It's something I just can't defeat because I can't stand up there and I can't say, Bob was saved. And really, what I should say, what people really should know, instead of beating around the bush, I never would say this because of what I'm trying to do, but I should say Bob was lost. And just like in Luke, where the rich man dies, and he says, God, just let me go back and tell my brothers to get right with you. Amen. That's what Bob would want. Speaking in that funeral right then and there, and Bob knowing what you're going to live in for eternity, what you're facing now. If you could come back, you would just say, oh, make sure my daughter, my son, knows Christ. There's no hope for you. You know that the bargain's over, that all that time's up. So all you can look for now is your family. You would want to go back to your wife so bad. Or go back to your husband so bad. Just one word. You you would say, Jesus. That would be the words you would say. Man. And we can get up here and I can tell stories that people told about you. Funny things, like you fell out of the boat and you had to drag the boat down the Escambia River and all it was so. But you're lost. And you were the quarterback that won the state championship, and you done this and you done that, and you were always good to the town and all the fundraisers. But the preacher, he never could say anything about your salvation. And no matter what is said that day about you, your family will be empty. And that funeral closed. And I'll come around from the pulpit and stand at your head. And if God's allowing you, you're going to look at your family the last time, not being able to say anything, not being able to warn me. Well, you made sure they were at ball. You made sure they had good clothes. You made sure they had everything the world offered. They had Nintendos and Sony PlayStations. They have all this stuff. But why didn't you take them to church? Because in Luke it says he remembered. That rich man stayed in hell, and when he was in hell, he remembered Lazarus. He remembered the opportunities he had. He didn't take. And that's what you're doing. That funeral's going to close. That's the end of you. Everybody else will go on living. But you'll begin in eternity. I preached funerals. You never could just come out and say you were saved, but you come to church sometimes. You belong to church, but people knew you really didn't live. So it was always the question,